Well, Mark Larsen here for Dreamcatcher Podcast. Thanks for joining us. My guest today is Carla Scheierman.
Correct.
Thanks for joining us. So we haven't known each other very long. I mean, it was kind of just that one time when we met at Nicole Bryant's bookstore.
Yes.
So a little bit of background, Carla. Are you from Hastings, Nebraska, where we are?
Pretty much. We moved here on my 6th birthday.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
So where'd you live before?
Plainview, Nebraska. It's kind of up by Norfolk.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Really small town. Yeah.
Okay. So, a little bit of background. I mean, we're actually thanking the Hastings Fire Department here for using this facility.
We're in a training room right now.
Yeah, which is very cool. I don't know if I've been in a facility anywhere like this. So this is cool. So how long have you been doing this?
About 2.5 years, almost 3 years. Yep.
Okay. And what exactly do you do here then?
So I'm a firefighter EMT right now. We're all cross-trained here. We do the fire and the medical side.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Is this something you always wanted to do?
Yeah, in the healthcare, public something in that. My dad was a hospital administrator,
Okay.
so that's always where I want to be. Serving
Okay,
people,
cool.
yeah.
So what the future, is there ability to move up?
I'm actually working on getting my paramedic right now.
Nice. So how long, what does it entail to, if somebody wanted to do this, if you guys had an opening to do something
Right.
like this?
And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm on light duty, so when we hire, we have an academy that goes for a few months, and they get a lot of their fire skills, some EMS, and then was it a year? They have to get their EMT training.
Okay.
We also do some hazmat training.
Oh, wow.
So a lot goes into it.
Yes.
But we do a lot of the training here.
Okay.
So that's good.
So when you're doing this, I mean, we're in the Hastings South Station.
Right, the South Station.
How big area do you guys cover on like this station?
So this station covers the south side of Hastings.
Okay.
It's mostly divided by either the railroad tracks or Second Street.
Okay, gotcha.
So the South Station covers the south side of Second Street, and then our North Station would cover the.
So do you go outside of city limits?
Sometimes we have a lot of mutual aid contract agreements.
Okay.
So we can assist, Juniata.
Really? Okay, you can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Play Center. We go. We can go there if they have no EMTs available, or we do. What am I trying to think of, Blake? An intercepts.
Okay, what is that exactly?
So sometimes they can call for an ALS intercept. That would be like a paramedic and EMT. We would meet them somewhere.
I gotcha. That makes sense. Okay.
And then our paramedic would jump into their ambulance, and then we would follow them to the hospital.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, they do that sometimes when they need a little more care than
Makes
any
sense.
EMT can provide.
Did you think when you were growing up that you'd be doing something like this?
Probably not the fire side of it, but
Yeah.
So like I said, my dad was a hospital administrator. He was the CEO of Hastings Regional Center.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what got us here to town. And
Okay.
I was always interested in art. I thought I was going to be an artist.
Yeah.
And then once I got more into knowing what my dad did and that kind of thing, I thought I was going to go the health therapist.
Okay. Really? Oh,
Art therapist route. Yeah.
Okay. What is an art therapist? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
So it's like, therapy for adults. I was
Really?
more for the children area.
That's cool.
So you give them crayons and you have them draw a picture, and it's kind of how they draw themselves or how they
That's
draw
interesting.
mom and dad, and then you can start asking questions like, "Who's this over here? Tell me
Very
about your
cool.
dog." And,
Never thought about that, but that would show a lot of what they're. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you still want to do that?
So
Or do you still maybe because you do art? That's kind of how I. Yeah.
I do. So when I went to college I was gonna get going to art therapy, work with my dad out there. Then when I got into college, I had to have the double major. I had to have an art major and the psych major.
Wow.
And yeah, I had my daughter then, and I thought maybe not a double major.
Yeah. No sleep at all. Yeah.
So I stuck with the art route,
Okay.
and I have a studio art degree. But then I kept doing healthcare. I worked in nursing homes.
Yeah.
stuff I could do to get both. Yeah,
Nursing
yeah,
homes, we were just talking about getting
yeah,
such awesome stories.
yeah.
That may have to be a future podcast because
Oh, I know.
yeah, because they have such
I keep
amazing
saying I'm
stories.
gonna write a book someday
You
and
really
release
should.
it.
I mean, they do, and people a lot of times dismiss all those people in there, and they have so much to
They really do.
contribute.
Yep,
That's for
yep.
sure. So we actually first time we met was down at Nicole Bryant bookstore, and you have
That's an amazing place.
that is I
Yeah,
love that, and so you have still art down there.
I
So
do. I
so
have
do
a
you
couple
do a
paintings of them.
traditional art, or what kind of art do you do, or does it vary?
Most of what I did was oil painting. I like to do realism. I like to do
Okay,
realist painting,
okay.
but I kind of dabble all over.
Oh, that's a fun.
What's at Nicole's is some of like a different abstract
Mm-hmm.
route I went, but yeah.
No, that's very cool, and that store is awesome. I mean, she's so ornery too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when
I met her because our kids are in band.
oh, are they okay?
And so then she started talking about her bookstore, and I was like, "Oh, check it out." And then somebody told her that I do art, and yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
she is. When passports came out for Nebraska, when she first got them, she's like, "I just got these. I'm taking one out." She says, "Look happy." And she took a picture of me. It's like,
That's cool.
okay, I will look
That's
happy, and that sounds just like her.
yeah.
So, and I run into her all the so I have to ask the Dreamcatcher podcast. So the dream growing up was, which you just said a little
Something in art, yeah,
it's an art. That
yeah,
was
yeah.
so. Would you ever want to be a teacher?
Um, I I did do that a little bit in college, but so the class that I went to, they put you in a classroom,
Right,
whatever. They
right.
put me right back in the high school art. So
Okay.
it was like I just graduated from here, and these are probably not the kids I want to work with. So that just kind of maybe
Mhm.
that's not what I want to do, but
No, that's. I mean.
yeah,
You're kind of, I mean, you're helping so many people. You know, that's one
I
thing
do. I
with
do.
doing this, and then art helps people. People
Yeah.
dismiss art a lot of times too.
I do some
So
every once in a while through the community education out at CCC.
really
Sometimes I'll do some of their workshops out there. I'll
nice.
teach a few
So
things.
actually, one in Grand Island, I don't know if I want to do podcasting. It's like a thing.
Yeah.
So they're pretty good to work with,
Oh
or
yeah. Oh
I've
yeah.
never done anything
Yeah.
with them, and I thought there's nobody else
Well,
qualified more for the
that's the
podcasting
way. You
thing.
don't have to like submit a syllabus or whatever.
No,
It's
yes,
just yeah,
yeah, because
gives
it's
them an
like,
idea of how.
but and it is a lot of people are doing podcasts because it's easy entry point and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And I thought, me? Yeah. Yeah. And I have a lot of people, it's like, why not you? I have to get over that mindset too. So do you have siblings?
I do. I have a brother in town. I was adopted, so
Okay, cool.
yep. My brother and his family are here in town, and my mother's remarried. She's here in town, so
Okay, awesome.
yeah,
So what are the things you like to do in your little bit of free time?
a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. My family's here. I've got 3 kids.
You have 3 kids?
Yeah, I
Oh my
got 2
gosh.
grandkids.
You're not old enough for that. Oh my gosh. Wow. So your grandma. I would
I am.
never, you're pretty hip grandma there.
Thank you.
I bet they really. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So you get to see them a lot.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. No, family and friends are what it's all about too.
Oh, right. Right.
So they live close by then?
Yes. So 2 of my kids are still at home. And then the one granddaughter's with us, and then my oldest has apartment
Okay.
with her son. So
Okay, that's
that's really
awesome.
nice. Yeah.
So what does 5 years look like for you right for now? What do you envision your life looking in 5 years?
Oh boy. Hopefully, kids are out of the house.
Okay.
All those things that you and your spouse are like, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
We like to travel. We like
do?
to go
Okay.
to like small towns and
Me too.
find the little mom and pop stores and
Yes.
stuff like that. Yeah.
We're just like
Yeah.
going to Sutton. We're just talking on a town that
Yeah.
is in Georgia's. That's a nice place. But yeah, my wife and I like to do that too. In fact,
Yeah.
2 weekends ago, we went up to Chalk Mine by.
Yes.
And that is pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, we
So
were just there not too long.
yeah, I saw 3 bats and I like bats. So, but it is. It's the best education there is. It's
Right,
going into, and
right.
people
Yeah.
dismiss Nebraska as like, well, it's flat. You got corn and and cattle, and it's like there's so much more to it.
There is. Well, that
So
passport program, like you brought,
it's
that
awesome.
is neat.
Yes, I love that passport program
I
because it
haven't
gets.
done it, but a good friend of mine has, and these brought up places haven't even known of.
Yeah, there's a lot of places like didn't know this existed. It just
Right.
gets you. I mean, And that was one thing I was telling you about my wife having, especially the colon cancer 10 years ago. It was very intense. She only had a 14% chance of living, and we, 10 chemo. So that got us traveling a lot of places. That got us doing our dream because we always wanted to travel, and we didn't do it because of all the things I told you earlier, some days, and all that. And there's a lot of places in Kansas too, and it's just like you just miss all that. No, I went to Coronado Heights, which I didn't know there was a little mountain in the middle of the state, and you don't know, but travel. So have you ever gone overseas or been to Europe or anything like that?
Costa Rica.
Okay, so I got to ask you, do you like Costa Rica? Because I've heard good things.
I love it there. We went on my mom and I went on a mission trip there.
Nice.
And it was funny though. It was my senior year, and the last day we were all had to meet up by this flagpole. It was kind of up on the top of the hill, and he's like, "Okay, everybody be here at this time, or you're not getting on the bus." And I looked over at my mom, and she's like, "Don't even think about it."
Oh, that's funny. So how long were you down there?
It was a few weeks, I think. It was. We were fixed up a campground, a kids' campground, and
love that.
it was gorgeous.
So was that like through church or who?
Yeah, it was through our church. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think that how did you get down there? Or did you?
We flew. So it was like was it Dallas probably or whatever? It's just straight down. So,
really? Okay, that's not so bad then.
So same time zone, but
even the same time zone.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it easy that way.
We most of the time we were, in the campground and we were fixing up whatever, and then a couple of days we got to go in the town. We got to go to a school one day.
Cool.
Went to church one day. It was
That would be.
It was really humbling.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we take so much for granted here.
Oh, absolutely.
I just the smallest thing is just like, well, like my wife with the cancer. She'd been in some of these other countries. She probably would not be here.
Yeah.
There's things to complain about, but there's so much to not. So, to have a facility like this where you can take care of, so many things.
Right.
So would you do another one? Another trip like that?
Oh, yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how, to go to Costa Rica, passport and all that stuff, or was there more that you had to do?
Passport. Yeah.
Did you have to have like vaccinations then or two? Or? Okay. Well, I
that was
didn't
a
know.
minute ago. I don't know.
Well, I've been hearing so many people that go to Costa Rica now.
Things are a lot different nowadays than.
Yeah, Costa Rica seems kind of like the hot spot now, and it's just like I would love to. I've never gone that direction to travel.
Yeah.
Because I've been to Italy 2 years ago, and Italy was very cool.
My dad and my brother went on a trip to Belgium.
Oh wow, that'd be cool.
So then they got to go to a lot of the other countries and towns, and
they like it.
Oh yeah, they have all kinds of stories too. So I was like, okay, this is something cool. Let's do something like that. So my mom got that Costa Rica.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
You got a trip planned up now?
No.
Probably not. No. So if you were going to take a trip, where would you want to go?
I just wanted to go to Denmark.
Me too. Actually, that's where my family's from. So
I don't know what, but that's always been in my mind.
Yeah, my dad has even looked, and some of our Larsens are still over there, and he's like, "That's a hard language."
Yes.
But no, I would love to. Actually, my dream is to go and do all these podcasts in person. And that would be like, okay, that'd be a lot of traveling, but no.
But meeting people, that's
it
fun.
is,
and their cultures and their
Yeah, because I did one the other day from Sweden. It wasn't anything. Well, it's kind of like Italy was when we traveled. It wasn't anything like we thought it was going to be like. Right. It was southern Italy, but everybody spoke English. Everybody, except one gal. It was like, okay, and I switched money over to euro, and it's like, oh, we take credit cards. Like, okay, they're crazy drivers over there. Oh my gosh, they're crazy drivers.
They're like that in Costa Rica. Everything is just.
That's what it was there. It's like it's all maybe suggestion. Oh my gosh, we got a taxi driver and we thought we were gonna die. So.
Gal that I was working with, we were replacing the screens in the windows.
Okay.
Like inside, it's kind of like a hut, and the weather's beautiful all year round, so they just have screens in the windows. Well, on the top bunks, the kids would lean on the screens and push them out. So
I could see would have prayed on that too.
Well, we had to tell the guy that was going to town, we need more screen. And so we're trying to say lots, like we need a lot of screen.
Oh yes,
you come back with 50 feet or something. We're like,
not gonna go very far if you got a lot of.
More. And he'd be like,
so Spanish, is that what they speak down there?
Yes.
Okay, I figured I never thought about that until right now. So I don't either. I should. I had the other day that
high school Spanish, so I could.
somebody the other day is like, you should speak Spanish because you'd have a whole nother group of people you could do podcasting with. And it's like, that's true. Plus, it'd be good for me to. It would be good for me to learn. That's for sure.
Yeah, I should work on it.
And that's one thing everybody pretty much knows English everywhere I go because it's part of their school.
Yeah.
In fact, I did one from Nepal the other day, and she's like, "Oh yeah, everybody knows English over there," and and it's like, yeah, we really should have people at least Spanish or some other language here that we learn.
Yeah.
So anything else you would like to share on the podcast here?
Boy.
So
No.
so are you have any more art coming? Do you ever do art shows?
I used to team up with my sister-in-law,
Okay.
and I would I paint on people, and then she would photograph it.
Okay, paint on people. Explain that a little bit.
Just
Like face painting thing or kind of like that or
I would do like whole body painting. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did a couple shows. We did one where I had like some kind of a background and then I would paint them to blend into the background.
Okay.
So I mean you could still see them obviously, but I would paint them into it. And then it was the old Wine Styles off the Second Street. That's where I had it. Jamie was awesome with us, and let's do it. And then we did another one. Was like we called it haunted portraits or something like that.
Cool.
And so we painted people and scary things or costumes. And
awesome.
There was some friends of ours had an old abandoned house kind of out by Prosser.
Okay.
So we took some painted up a gal to look like a broken doll. Doll, and then we staged her in there, and
that's cool.
It was neat.
So if somebody wanted, just like, I want you to paint me, or how do people find it, or how did you get started doing that?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Okay.
Yeah. That's mostly what I do is like, I
just could try that. I understand how it goes.
Try that.
Never thought about, but I might like doing that.
My sister did photography on the side, and so I was like, all right, we're gonna do a show here.
It's cool. So, so have you done any recently? Painted anybody? I mean,
no, it's been a while since I did.
So how do you? It's like from top down is the price, and then the whole body, or do you do them? I mean, how does that work?
Well, the people that were going to be in my show, they were just volunteers.
Okay.
And then as a thank you, I gave them a print of their.
Cool.
Thing. Yeah.
So do you have an Instagram? Do you put this stuff up on Instagram?
I haven't.
Okay. I was just thinking that would be pretty cool. So you're on social media? Are you very much? Okay. I guess I know you're on Facebook, so aren't you?
No.
Not on Facebook. Wow. I'm impressed.
Well, I have a hidden Facebook.
Okay, that's all right.
I know. Not my name.
No. Do you do any other do you do TikToks?
I have TikTok.
Okay.
I do have I have TikTok, Instagram.
Snapchat or
I do, yeah.
Okay. Because there's so much. I mean, it's just like
you could find me, yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've posted things,
But yeah, on Instagram because it goes so well with photography and stuff like that, with all that.
Yes.
So, so do you have a studio at your place where you live?
I have I do a lot of like building and stuff and that. Just dinking around with my own stuff.
Okay.
So there's a shop out back, and it's kind of where I do everything. But when I was painting the people, we did most of that at my sister-in-law's house.
That is cool. No, is that paint water based? The wash off.
It's just wash off. Just
I used oil based. Sorry.
I know. Yeah, I did one series. I painted like a bunch of gears on people, and one of my friends, she's got these like piercing blue eyes. And so I painted most of her face black, and then there was like some gears and sprockets coming down here, and we photographed it. Well, then she went to my sister-in-law's bathroom to shower when she was done, whatever, and she goes, "It looks like a crime scene in there," washing off all that.
I bet it does.
She's just like, "I'm so sorry."
Well, the only way you could do it though, I'd have to go.
I know. How else are you gonna get it?
No,
that was fun.
So, do you have a favorite art medium or paint, or do you like oil based?
I prefer oils.
Okay.
I work with about anything, but being in college with a daughter and getting those kinds of paints out wasn't the easiest. So I kind of got into other things, but
So are you in college now?
No.
Okay.
No.
I thought maybe you were going in further in your education.
Just getting my paramedic.
Okay. Well, that's further in your education.
It's school.
It is. No, that's good. Got to keep learning.
That's
That's
right.
always good.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so like here, how did you told me a little bit, how did you find this place or how did you get started here?
So I've known a few people that worked here. I used to work at City Hall.
Okay.
When I very first started there, I worked for the mayor and let me get this right. Mayor, city administrator, and then Parks and Rec was up there.
Wow.
And then shortly after that, Parks and Rec moved to their other location, and then we got the city attorney.
Okay.
So I worked
okay.
for the mayor, city administrator, and city attorney.
Wow.
So I was at City Hall for like 6 years.
Okay.
And so the fire union does a contract every 2 years.
Okay.
And so I would kind of get to know them as they
sure,
came
that
up
makes
to do their
sense.
contract, or
Okay.
you know, what have you,
Right.
meetings and this and that. I met people. And so the chief at that time, you had to already have your EMT to be hired
Okay.
here.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, that would be a cool job. You
That
know,
would
like,
be, yeah.
It would be fun.
Uh-huh.
And so then from City Hall, I started working at Hastings Museum,
Okay.
also administrative assistant. And it was we had an event there where we had other city departments come.
Sure.
The fire department came and brought a couple trucks over.
Nice.
And so I was just kind of talking to some of the guys, and they're like, "Oh, our chief will hire you now. You know, we'll
Cool.
train you." So I was like, "Yep,
Awesome.
I'm there."
No, I bet you didn't think that was going to be where you ended up.
No, and it was funny. I went home to my husband and I was like, "So what do you think if I'm going to be a firefighter?" And he's like, "Yep, right."
I could see saying that, yeah.
It's like, no, I'm serious. Like, I think I'm going to do it. Yeah.
So how was your first fire?
So actually, my second shift on the job was my first.
Oh my gosh, you jumped into the oh my
Right
gosh.
into it. Yeah, I got out of academy, and then put on shift, and then was my second shift. Was my
Wow.
first fire.
I can't imagine. That is. I mean, I'm so thankful you're doing that. I'm thankful for everybody that wants to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was an eye opener. I mean,
I bet.
Like we train you to do this, and
Yeah.
we give you the last day of academy. They'll do a live burn.
Oh really?
We go
Okay.
out to the Greenleaf training facility.
Okay.
They have the tower there.
Right.
And do the burn that way with them, pull hoses and
Do everything you probably need to do then.
But you know, that's
Yeah.
safely and
Yeah, it's not like real when you have a real fire going.
so yeah, you have some experience of running into a fire, but then when I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, you really
Now is
did.
now.
You jumped
We're
into the
doing
fire,
this.
yeah. You really. So the equipment, how much does that weigh? Is it pretty heavy?
lot,
I was gonna say it looks like it would be
You
very
can
heavy.
See their coats behind me. There's our
Oh, okay,
our
yeah.
guys' training coat. Once you get all your gear plus the pack on you, yeah.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
Was that hard to? Did you have to train for putting that on? I mean, was the weight wise?
So our guys that are here today, they go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is when we have academies.
Okay.
And then so on the let's see, Tuesdays and Fridays, they go on air and practice doing their workouts. So
Okay.
so every morning they come on at 7 like we do. And then every morning from 7 to 8 is their PT,
Okay.
physical training.
Okay.
And so we do a lot of drills with them.
I bet you do.
and
Just you would have to get used to that.
Yeah.
No,
working
because
with tools and
no, I can't even imagine all the stuff that.
Yeah.
I mean, probably one of the more fun. You guys do things with kids, probably with the fire trucks and stuff. I would think that'd be one of them.
Yeah.
I bet their eyes get.
oh yeah,
So they all want to be firefighters.
that's of course.
That's what I said.
Well, we always say like I'm primarily on the ambulance, but
Uh-huh.
you know sometimes I ride on the Quint, but that's what we kind of do. Like, which one do you like better, the ambulance
Uh-huh.
or the fire truck? Yeah.
I bet you get a lot of response to
Yeah,
that.
but
I bet they always.
some of us carry stickers
Uh-huh.
in our gear, so you know when they see us, we can give them a sticker and
That's awesome.
yeah, just public education. That
It
we're not
is.
scary and it's,
No, because I mean, I can see as a kid, you could be scary, especially when
Yeah.
you have something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
That is so good.
That's
Yeah.
one thing we like to do, especially when we go to schools,
Yeah.
is put somebody in the mask on the, that
Okay.
if you see somebody like this, don't run from them. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they're doing their job there and everything like
Absolutely,
that. So
absolutely.
so that is so cool. So Carla, before we end the podcast, any words of wisdom or anything?
Words of wisdom. Just, I would tell everybody to chase your dreams, like
Awesome.
you say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's possible, and
It is.
yeah,
And life goes by very, very quickly.
it does. It
When-
does.
when-
They tell me that, oh, wait till you have kids, wait till you get married,
Yeah.
wait till you,
Yeah.
oh man.
Well, as a kid, it didn't seem like it went fast at all. But when you see
Yeah.
when you see children growing up, it's like, wow, they're growing up so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, well, we're halfway through this year already. I
Right.
mean, it's just like, slow down on that. So, but
Yeah.
that's awesome wisdom. I love that.
Yeah.
So, well, Carla, thanks for joining me on the
Thanks for
Dream Catcher
having me.
podcast. No, it's been a while since we talked that first time,
That's right.
but I guess I finally eventually get things done. But anyway,
Great.
thank you. And
Yeah.
I got to go look at your artwork down at Nicole's too.
Great.
So,
Thank you.
and so if I mean, you have a website on it, anything like that stuff?
I don't. I have an email. It's studio13
Studio
at
13.
Gmail.
If they were interested in having you do some art,
Carla Studio13. at
Okay.
Gmail.
we
Yeah.
can put that in the show notes too, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. If they can reach you to do like
Absolutely.
commission. Okay,
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yep.
That I will definitely put that in there. So, well, thank you, and have a good rest of your day.